As the greatest story ever told goes, on that Monday Jesus entered the temple courts, which he called his Father's house. The crowds may have thought he would be pleased with their 46-year-long project, which had resulted in the largest temple in history, but they had missed the point. Inside the temple courts, specifically, the area where Gentiles could worship God, something had gone wrong. It had been replaced with two different things. The first way the space for Gentiles had been filled was with the culture war. Instead of offerings being about devotion to God and sacrifice, they made them about the nation. Political tables were set up where you could exchange your evil Roman or Greek money for holier Jewish money. In addition to this culture war tactic, they would regularly receive a profit. Like most money changers, the focus was no longer on God or man's heart towards God, but on the kingdom of the world. The second type of table was for convenience. Although God had instructed people to choose specific offerings for their sins and other atonements, now in the place where outsiders should feel welcome to worship God, there was the God of convenience and consumerism. Instead of raising a blemish-free, perfect animal, you now only had to bring your money and pick the animal you could afford. No longer did you have to raise it in your home or think about your offering or your sin. It became a quick, meaningless transaction. These two types of things now filled the space where outsiders should have been. Jesus was enraged by the fact that the place that was supposed to be for devotion to God had become a place to make money and continue the agenda of the culture war between the Israelites and the world around them. This confused the crowd because just the day before, Jesus had performed what we now call the triumphal entry. Their hopes and dreams were that Jesus was coming to rise up against their foes, to take the kingdom back by force, remove the current king, and expel the Romans. But his first sign of aggression was towards the religious establishment. He did not go to the Roman court or the palace, but to God's house. We need to ask ourselves if there is room in what we have created for the people God created it for. Have we made God's houses in our image and filled the spaces that should be welcoming to outsiders with elements of our culture war or convenience linked to our greed? The Israelites of the time wondered why things were going so badly for them, but at the same time they had neglected their original goal, which was to be a shining city on a hill that attracted, not repelled, outsiders. What about you? Will you focus on the kingdom of God this Holy Week or the kingdom of the world?